What's up, everybody? We got some weekly Q&A. I think it's working here. I never know, by the way. There's always a little bit of a delay. You hit the button and Facebook just kind of freezes for a minute, so I don't know if you guys are watching me just sit here retarded or if it's actually working. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Frankie Finn proudly brings you our weekly Q&A. Got some cool questions this week, and I can totally see the progress with you guys. It's really amazing when I see the questions go from how do I get a client, how do I break into a niche, to, you know, what I consider better questions, how do I manage teams, things like that. So, let's get into it. I don't have any build-up for you guys today. Himanshu, I hope I'm saying that. Hey guys, what's the best method to charge your clients for someone who want to charge based on results for both lead gen and ecom? Number 1, small retainer plus percentage of ROAS. Number 2, percentage of ROAS. Number 3, percentage of profit. Number 4, fixed fee per lead, or any other best way you know. I'm going to tell you, Himanshu, even though I love doing partnership deals, if you're working with somebody new and you've never done a partnership deal before and you want to charge based on results, it's actually best to charge if you're running ads based on per lead, because ROAS and all those other things require you to get into their back end, and it requires full transparency from them. As where leads, you can know without having to do much work. So those tend to actually be the best ones. For scaling, I'm definitely not telling you that's the only way to do it. We do some partnership deals that are all like revenue share percentage. But in my experience, fixed cost per lead, number 4, is probably the best way to do that for what you're looking to do, which sounds like run Facebook ads for some e-commerce store and get paid a percentage. Jansen, looking for insight. We have a new client wanting to run ads on Facebook, which is great, but they're limited in the following ways. Product costs under $5 on average. It's available in-store only. They have one location. It's water. They sell fresh water. They sell water softeners on the side that are $1,500 plus, so I convinced them we need to focus on that. But they still want to sell more water. It feels like we're going to have to strike creative gold to make them profitable. Any recommendations? Also, let me add, they offer prepaid cards at the following intervals. 25 gallons for $14, 40 gallons for $22, 60 gallons for $32, only available for purchase in-store. Tracking ad performance is going to be a nightmare. Jansen, I feel you. This is a thing that comes up all the time, by the way, in every niche, and it's not just related to yours, which is clients want to make more money, and they're convinced the way to do that is to make more front-end sales of their cheap little thing, when in actuality they need to increase lifetime customer value. So I would just say, hey, I'm happy to sell you more of your $5 water, which you'll never be profitable on that, even here in a desert, by the way, where people actually pay for like, I got a cistern right over there and a little underground container for water, and we had to pay $50 a couple weeks ago to have it filled up because the city ran out of water. Still, you're not going to be profitable on that. But what you can do is, as soon as you make the sale, make the back-end offer for the $1,500 purchase. But if you're trying to make Facebook ads work for a $5 purchase, it's not just going to happen. Do not try and become the hero creative. Focus on the customer lifetime value. Make the sale for the $5 water and help them resell it and to resell the water softeners, because otherwise it's just not going to work. So that's a pretty common scenario, by the way. But lifetime customer value is the number you want to get them focused on, and help them increase that number. Eugene, I'm wondering, how stressful does it feel running your day-to-day agency operations on a scale from 0 to 10, 10 being maximum level of distress? Eugene, I cannot speak for everybody, but I can tell you my first agency back in 2007 was like an 8 or above daily, like constantly. Like I felt like I was just dealing with disappointed clients who were like, call me and tell me like, when is this going to work? When am I going to be profitable? Especially with SEO, it just took a long time. Now I would say our agency stress is about a 2. We have the coolest clients, and you can have that, by the way, as well. A lot of it comes down to who you choose for clients, how you manage them, how you set expectations, and the little things you do above and beyond. So there's no set answer for that, but those things make a big deal of difference for how you manage the people. Sam, hey guys, anyone have experience anyone experiencing a complete drop in performance for lead ads, went from consistent leads to zero for the last 3 to 4 days, already duplicated the campaign, changed creative, audience, etc. Nothing still. Sam, this is a hard thing for people to deal with, especially when you run Facebook ads. Your ads and your offers are going to fatigue only 100% of the time. Even like in a lawyer space where I can run the same offer for like 2 or 3 years uninterrupted, I still have to swap it out every couple of weeks. So as long as you're running Facebook ads, this is going to happen. And it's not related to lead ads or last couple of days. It just happens. That's the nature of social media. I kind of have a love-hate relationship with it. I know it can be really profitable, but you got to go back to swapping up and changing out what you do. The first thing, by the way, to test is your image. If you can swap that first, that's usually the fastest thing that can get it rolling again. But at the end of the day, you're probably going to have to try new stuff again and again. Reshab, can anyone share a good agency proposal template to pitch in clients? Reshab, I'll tell you the best thing to put inside of your proposal are the 4 areas of expectation. So what kind of results are they going to, or can they realistically expect? How long is it going to take? What kind of costs are going to be incurred? And how are you going to communicate? Those are the things they really want to know in the proposal. Is you're basically foreshadowing what it's going to be like to work with you after the fact. You put those things in there and you do a good job of like catering that specifically to how they've presented it. Like, for example, if they say, like in the last example, they wanted to sell a whole bunch more water, and you say, here's the results we can achieve selling a whole bunch more water. That's going to be your best bet. But those 4 areas are what you want to put in your proposal, because that's what people want to know. They're using it as a way to see what it'll be like to work with you. Ahmed, how did you guys get your first client? Ahmed, okay, so getting your first client, by the way, is not as hard as most people think it is, and I'll tell you the biggest reason why most people get stuck on it. Either they're not clear about who they want as a client, or they just have an offer that's too big. My first client was an SEO client, and I got them by just simply offering little tiny backlink packages, and they said, "Hey, can you do something bigger?" And I said, "Sure," and that was it. And then they turned out to be like a white label relationship, and we did hundreds and hundreds of clients together. But that's the biggest piece of advice I would give you, is start with an offer that's just a small ask. Don't ask for, hey, come work with me for a year. Ask for something like, hey, that they can experience the benefits and the results by Friday, like a little trial or something like that. You do that, people will be willing to take a chance on you, even if you don't have like a history of case studies. Another option, by the way, is just to work with somebody who already has clients and case studies and resell their kind of packages. You can always do that. Then you can feel more confident offering it and not like look and sound like a beginner. Anthony, if a teen you knew was trying to start a business but dealing with bad negative feedback from family members, what would you tell them? Nothing, Anthony. That's normal. Like in our society, I notice like if somebody says, I got a new job, you get high fives all around. Even though as this whole world situation has shown you, like jobs are not as secure as people think. A whole bunch of people got laid off for being non-essential workers. Just with everything that's kind of going on. So, people will high five you if you quit drinking, or if if the more broken you are. But nobody high fives you for entrepreneurship. So I would just say get used to that, because that's the nature of it. Other than like masterminds and things like that, like I don't think we have a lot of support for what we do. It's like average everyday people who are kind of like mostly risk averse. They get all the high fives, and so I would just say do your thing, put your head down, make it happen. It's a challenge of it really is, but build your own network of people who support you, and go to them. I've been doing this since 2007. My parents still have no idea what I do. Well, I should say my mom, because my dad's been dead a couple years, but like for real, like that's just normal. So Jerry, I've never run Google ads, but a Google consultant offered to set it up for me. Is this a waste of money, or do they get results? Jerry, I'm not saying that like every Google ad rep is bad, but pretty much 9 out of 10 of them are just going to spend a bunch of your money and waste it. They're salespeople that are like paid to increase Google sales. Run and run fast. Do not like let a Google salesperson just turn your stuff on. You would have better success doing it on your own. Start with like 1 or 2 keywords. Find an ad that works, and set it up yourself. But for real, do not just like turn it over to these Google ad reps. I've heard just so many bad experiences with them, and so few good ones. Brian, I'm not sure. Hey everyone, best chatbot software for websites that you recommend. ManyChat, that's the one that the greatest number of people I know use, so use that. I'm not saying it's the only good one, but stick with what works. Cameron, hey guys, hope you're doing well. For those of you running ads to get appointments and clients, what are you seeing working best? I'm currently running ads to lead forms and getting decent results, and I'm getting a decent ROI, but I know it can be better. I'm wanting to create a VSL and think I'll get better results that way, since that's what I see a lot of the big dogs do. Cameron, definitely a VSL can work. Now, understand, like, a VSL is just a tool to deliver an offer, so you got to like really nail the offer piece and make that easy to say yes to for the right people. But we're doing like really simple, like 5-minute VSLs, and they're just like we show them a result that they want, and we make that very visual and clear, and then we show them quickly how we get that result, and then we make them an offer, and that's our VSL. Like very short and to the point. There is a training on the YouTube I've done on that for like Loom videos, but Loom videos are basically just a VSL done in like 5-minute form, and it's really powerful. So that's what we've seen working best. If you're not seeing the ROI that you want, it's almost always going to be the offer, not necessarily the VSL or the lead ads. So get that piece nailed in, and what you'll find is, yes, that strategy will work. Stephanie, I'm thinking of niching down, but I have doubts. I'm kind of scared. Can you give me some tips on how to find out if my niche is profitable? Stephanie, first of all, niching down is never a bad thing, ever. Almost always it'll have the opposite effect. We think we want to get thousands and millions of clients, but in reality, with a lifestyle agency, you're never really going to have more than 100 clients. Like, that's just the way it's going to be. So what you want to do is think about having the best 100 clients you can possibly have. The more you can like really sharpen your saw and target like intelligently, the better that's going to be for you. So I would say when it comes to your niche, think about the $100 bill within a niche. So like if you're starting with, I don't know, I'll give you, for example, like an accountant friend of mine, 99% of their business comes at tax time, right? Like that's how most accountants are. They get swamped in work. But these are people usually paying $40 to a couple $100. They don't pay a lot. They don't come back. Then there's also businesses that have ongoing needs, and you can save them money all year round. Obviously, those are going to be more valuable. So like if you're going to pick a niche, pick those kind of things. Specialize in the high value work. It'll just make your life a whole lot easier. So that's the biggest thing I would give you, is find the $100 bill within your niche and specialize in that. Our man Oral Gergi, if my team members do not react fast to my messages, I get angry fast. That's why I introduced the 24-hour rule. Good idea or definitive proof of my being a nasty control freak? Probably both. But I'm with you. I want my team to respond to me quickly, and that's just part of doing business with me. Is like I like lean, fast, mobile communication. So if they're not doing that, I would either find new people or set expectations again. But in reality, I don't think you're being unreasonable. It's your business. I think you should be a little bit of a control freak in it. Communication, I think, is like probably one of the most important things in running a successful agency. So if your people are just taking too long, you either want to find out why they're taking too long, or move on to people who do share your same values of communication. But for me, that's one of the things I would test people on a first date right away, is how quickly they respond. And if they take too long, I would just skip them and not work with them. Saruthi, last question here. If you want to start a business, which social network would you choose to build your presence on, and why? Saruthi, there's not a one-size-fits-all answer. It really depends on which niche you're going after. Go where they are. So if you're like in an offline niche, like, you got landscapers or something like roofers, they're not going to be hanging out on Facebook. So like you wouldn't just go build yourself up on Facebook. You would go to where they are in real life, which is almost always like BNI meetings and Chamber of Commerce and those kind of things. You want to meet them in real life or message them. When I first started working with lawyers, I went on LinkedIn because that's where most of them were. There's more and more of them on Facebook every day, but that wasn't the case when I started in like 2015. And then there's niches like e-commerce where there's just groups and groups and groups of them on Facebook. So like that, I would go there. So the answer is like, where is your audience already, and go there, because there's no one size fits all answer. You got to go where your peeps are, and make that happen. So that's all I got for you guys this week. If you're interested in, by the way, getting a little personal one-on-one help, I'm going to be offering a couple of like little 15-minute consults. There's nothing for sale on these. There's nothing to buy. I'm not going to pitch you. I know you guys probably been on strategy sessions where people pitch you, but I just want to help you guys. And with what little time I do have, I'd love to connect with you guys. So if you're interested in grabbing one of those, reach out and we'll just go over whatever you're stuck on. And usually, almost always, I have at least 100 things that can help you with that. So that's all I got for you guys this week. May the force be with you.